Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and this is you, and this is the guy she tells you not to worry about. Episode 8 of Wandavision ended with a cliffhanger, bigger than the cliffhanging in Mission Impossible 2, and it looks like our heroes are Tom Cruising for a bruising as we head into the finale. Throughout this video, we're going to be breaking down our theories on what's going on, as well as how the series might end. So far, we've got 2 theories right out of 200, so there might be some spoilers here, especially if you haven't seen the last episode. If you enjoy the video, then please click the thumbs up button, and make sure you subscribe for breakdowns like this every day. With that out of the way, you are the Scarlet Witch. Now let's get into the video. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is Project Cataract and how it could be affecting Vision going forward. I risk painting myself into a cornea if I use too many puns in this, and as I don't want you rolling your eyes throughout the video, I promise that's as bad as it's gonna get, you son of a bitch. Now, though we've thought throughout the series that something else is going on with Hayward, the episode revealed that he's nothing more than a paranoid individual who was deeply affected by the snap. As one of the leftovers in a position of power, many likely looked to him for guidance, and thus he had to come up with an extreme way to protect the planet. Ultron was initially created to be a suit of armor around the world, however he pushed back more than Black Widow's release date and eventually tried to wipe out humanity. As bad of a lad as he was, he did do some good and created Vision, who ended up protecting us from his evil father. Vision was a force for good that was logical in all of his decisions, and it's easy to see why Hayward believed that he could reactivate him to protect us from a Thanos level enemy. Though this went against his last will and testament, the guy's technically just a fancy Alexa, and therefore Hayward thought he was doing something for the greater good. During the scene in his office, it's almost like he was tempting Wanda to bring him back to life, and shoutouts to Michael O'Hara on our last video for pointing out that him saying not everyone can bring their soulmate back online was somewhat of a challenge to her. She almost did it, but she probably realised she didn't want head from just a head, so made like the Vision and decided to head off. Now, if you know Vision from the comics, then you'll know that the white version of him is completely devoid of personality, and he's basically a husk of a man that just executes orders. I can't see him building a swing for the kids, and no doubt Sword had repurposed him to take down Wanda. At this point, Hayward still believes that she's the one behind it all, and if we look at things from his perspective, Wanda seems like the greatest threat to humanity at this point. Therefore, I think in the finale after Agatha is defeated, that he will be dispatched into the Hex in order to take Wanda and the kids out. We will likely see a Vision vs Vision fight, similar to the ending of Logan, in which the Hex one has to take down the White one. I really don't know who I like more at this point, but I do think that both Visions will be destroyed in the final battle. If you remember the intro to Far From Home, then you'll recall that there was an in memoriam bit for Vision, and as that film happens after the show in this timeline, it seems like he dies. If you've been checking out the cast lists on Google, you'll have also seen that James Spader is listed amongst the actors, so it might even turn out that he's voicing the villain, which I think would be an awesome twist. Now, White Vision could easily take out Wanda's kids, but he's also missing the Mind Stone, which a lot of his power draws from, and therefore I still think it'll be a fair fight. I actually feel that the Mind Stone will be left behind by the Hex One's corpse, and that this will help to restabilize reality for a bit. In Endgame, it was explicitly stated that removing the Infinity Stones from the timeline would have disastrous effects, and thus if Wanda can create one, then she may have to bring the others back. Now, what's hilarious about this White Vision reveal is that Paul Bettany has been saying for weeks now that in the show, there's an actor he's wanted to work with since he was a boy. His full quote reads, "It's an actor that I've longed to work with all of my life. We have some amazing scenes together, and the chemistry between us, I think, extraordinary. It's just fireworks on set, so I'm really excited for people to see that stuff." That was actually a recording of his voice there, I don't know if you could tell. Now, the guy is such a troll, yeah, and I think in retrospect that it's very likely that he was referring to himself. Though I would have loved to have seen Mark Hamill or Al Pacino, I think he got us with that one just because of how over the top he was in his praise for the actor. Now, saying that, I do think that Doctor Strange is coming, and he is of course someone that protects reality from massive magical attacks like this. Should Agatha get too powerful and drain the abilities from Wanda, then she will be viewed as a threat, and he might have to step in and help out. Benedict Cumberbatch did actually pop up in one of the Zoom calls promoting the show, so I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up for the finale before we follow the characters into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I can't see the two kids being killed, and I believe that Wanda will go on the run, and then Strange trying to track them down will be the jumping off point for the second film. Wanda doesn't deserve to have her brother, mum and dad, husband and kids killed, so yeah, let the woman have some happiness. Please, I'm begging. Now on to Agatha, and in the latest entry, we learn that she dated back to the time of the Salem witch trials in 1693. This differs from her origins in the comics, in which she was a witch who was alive during the times before Atlantis fell into the sea. Now why am I telling you this? I'll tell you, yeah, it's because in the comics, there's also an ancient being from around the same time, called Chthon, who might be behind everything. I think it's Chthon, that's it. It's Chthon, definitely. And we've officially jumped to the Mephisto train, as you might be able to tell, in order to serve our new Dark Master, who I think is behind it all. When I tell you some of the things that he's done in the comics, you might agree that he might be doing it all, and by the end of next week, you'll probably be singing, it was Chthon all along. Terrible. Now, firstly, Agatha is being held on trial in the opening because she's been dabbling in dark magic. The purple glow of her powers cements this, and I think we can assume that she learned how to do this from either the Darkhold or a higher power. In the comics, it was actually Chthon who crafted the Darkhold, and on its indestructible parchment, he wrote his most sinister spells. So that's point one. Now point two is that in the comics, he was also the person that gave Wanda her abilities. In the MCU, it was assumed that these came from the Mind Stone. However, in episode 8, we learn that she used a probability hex as a child to stop the Stark missile from detonating. It's also possible that this is what saved her and her brother, as that explosion went off pretty close to their heads, and neither of them seemed to have a scratch on them. Thus, her having these abilities before ever coming into contact with Hydra does hint at someone higher up passing them down so that she had a purpose. Now the final thing is that Chthon has actually possessed the body of Quicksilver before, and this could be viewed as being somewhat similar to the Evan Peters thing that's going on. In the latest entry, we learned that Agatha didn't use the real Quicksilver because his body was on another continent, and thus she settled for someone who was similar to him. Wanda didn't ask any questions because of her grief, but we have seen him demonstrate that he has Quicksilver's powers, at least in the Hex. Therefore, it could be possible that Chthon was actually possessing him, and he was the one behind it all along, simply keeping an eye on Agatha, and of course Wanda. It better be Chthon, I'd bloody tell you it better be. I am fully in the mind state now that he wasn't possessed by Agatha, and the Snooper's gonna snoop comment at the end of episode 7 was simply referring to the fact that he was doing the same. He may be someone totally innocent, and these whole demon theories might go the way of Mephisto in terms of turning out to be true. It is strange how Wanda managed to recreate Vision while she was unable to do the same thing with her brother. Though it was said that he isn't Pietro, I actually think that it could also be revealed that Wanda tried to bring her bro back from the dead, but instead she simply pulled one from the multiverse rather than him being a local in town or the Dark Lord who's controlling everything. Now strangely, he and Dottie were missing when Wanda drove through the city, so either of them could be the missing person under witness protection. They might even turn out to be Hydra agents, and it could be that whole thing again where we get the big reveal that it was Hydra all along. Now, I know there's just a couple of theories here, but I'm writing these immediately after posting my video and sending them off to our editor Christian to finish up for today when they go live. I'll probably think of a lot more between now and the weekend, so expect to see another video soon where we go deeper into things. However, I'd of course love to hear your thoughts below. As a thank you for interacting with the video, you'll be entered into a prize draw on the 30th of March, in which we're giving away 3 copies of the Marvel Phase 1 4K box set to our subscribers. All you have to do to be on the chance of winning is like the video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on the theories. The winners of last month's competition are on screen right now, so if that's you, then message me on Twitter at HeavySpoilers. If you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our breakdown of episode 8, which will be linked on screen right now. We went over it from top to bottom and pointed out all the things you missed, so it's definitely worth checking out if you want to know more. Out of the way, thank you for sticking through the video. I've been Paul, I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.